Hey everybody, Mark Arnstein, Remax Hallmark, and of course, NorthTorontoLiving.com. Vlog number 10 is up and running. Oh my God, I can't believe we've done 10 vlogs. This is crazy. Well, this is gonna be our 10th vlog. But anyways, today we're on our way to a closed set studio over just on the other side of Yorkdale. We're gonna do a episode of House Advisors with my good buddy Hamid Azizi, and we're gonna talk about the real estate market, what's going on in Toronto, and from houses to condos, to interest rates, all that good stuff. But it's a closed set, so I can't bring you on, but hang tight, because the video of the interview is gonna follow right after this. So see you soon, bye.
Dear friends, welcome back. We are excited to have with us Mark Arnstein from Remax Hallmark. He's going to be giving us some good information today about the real estate market, what's happening, and how we can position ourselves if we're on the market for purchasing or selling property. So, Mark, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. We are excited to have you.
Oh, thank you for being here. I'm very excited.
Awesome. Start a little bit about your story, like which area of market you practice. Just introduce yourself about. Our viewers may not know you, so we'd like to.
No, sure. I've been a real estate agent for just over 25 years. I actually started out in Vancouver.
Just over.
Just over, yeah. I look very young for my age. So I started as an agent in Vancouver when I was 25. Yeah. And I moved here 16 years ago. Happy wife, happy life. My wife is from here. Fantastic. And she just wasn't working out being so far away from home and away from her family. And so we settled in North Toronto, so in the Yonge and Lawrence, Avenue Road and Lawrence corridor. Nice. And that's where I kind of started growing my business from there. So I've been doing it for the last 16 years.
Fantastic. So you know the neighborhood, everything that's going on there,
yes.
and you specialize in that area?
Specialize in that area. I mean, we do all over Toronto, mainly right through central Toronto into downtown, East End, West End. Yeah. But the majority, a lot of the chunk of the business that we do is hyper-local into that pocket.
Do you want to tell us about that specific area that you focus, you practice in, so people can have a feel for it, what it is, and
Sure, it's a really nice mix of residential from semi-detached, older, what we call the typical North Toronto square plan home, the older homes that are kind of like a square box, straight up the old brick homes, to newer infill, and you have anything fluctuating from 16, 18, 19-foot wide lots on the semis up to 25, 30s. Mm-hmm. And then if you go into like the Cricket Club neighborhood, which is a little bit more on the north end of the neighborhood, just south of Wilson, then you're getting into like 30s, 40s, and 50s. And then as you travel west of Avenue Road, then typically a lot of the homes are situated on 40-foot lots. The part of West of Avenue Road has really changed a lot over the last probably 25 years, where it was a lot of wartime bungalows have all been generally knocked down, and a lot of newer homes have been built into that area. Mm-hmm. It's got some of the most highly rated elementary schools in the city in John Wanless and Bedford Park Elementary Schools. You also have one of the top rated high schools in Lawrence Park Collegiate, which is right down Avenue Lawrence, just east of Avenue Road. Mm-hmm. And you have some of the phenomenal private schools from Loretto Abbey to Havergal. You have TFS, Toronto French School, which is just down the street on Lawrence, going back down towards Bayview. Sunnybrook Hospital. So, I mean, all the shops and restaurants all up and down Yonge Street. Parks like Wanless Park, Sherwood Park. It's an incredible place to live, and subway access too. So.
Folks, this is what I call an agent who knows his inventory and who knows his area. So if anybody wants to get relocated in that area, you know what to call.
Thank you. Yes, 100%.
So tell us about the market stats. What's happening within that confine of the market?
The market is very robust. Inventory is at a very all-time low. Homes are moving quickly. They are typically going in multiple offers, which meaning that they're selling on average, somewhere in the neighborhood between 7 to 10 days on the market, and typically going in multiple offer situations.
It's going like hotcake.
Yep. Yeah. And then people will kind of go, well, it's an easy time to sell a house, but there's the difference between, getting a good price for your home and then getting a fantastic price for your home. And that's where someone like myself and my team can come in and make sure that, we get you the most phenomenal price for the house.
So you mentioned you have a team.
Yes.
Awesome. So you guys both work in both sides of the equation, sellers and
Yeah, we work both sellers and buyers. So I have two associates that work for myself, and then we also have a full-time administrative assistant as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it seems like you've got your your ducks in a row.
trying to.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just. I love the business. I have a blast doing it. You know, we try and be as outside the box and creative as we possibly can. And, you know, it gets to the point where I have a young family. I have 3 children and a puppy. And so, you know, it's about, you know, a little bit of leverage and making sure that the clients are always being well looked after. Because, I mean, I just can't be everywhere all the time. But I'm always in the know all the time what's going on. So my guys are in touch with me constantly. So if I can't be there, then they can at least step in and fill in for where I can't be. But then I know what's going on 100%.
It's a serious proposition selling real estate, so that's why you have got all those infrastructure in place, if you will, to support the client, I guess.
Oh, totally. I mean, there's just so much going on. Things are going so quickly, and you know, like I said, like if you, to have that ability to have the team and have those guys working for me who are, you know, they're trained by, they're not just coming in off the streets, like they're fully trained to follow in my footsteps. So they're like, you know, basically mini versions of me. And so that if someone is coming to work with us, that if I can't be there, they know they're going to get serviced 100%, fully looked after, get the best advice possible, and be in a position to make the best ability to either for buying or for selling.
So you've got the quality control there.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now the recent changes that's happened, let's say last 9 months. Do you still believe that real estate is as local, or is it a global phenomenon now?
Global from what sense?
Like, see how the global pandemic impacted our local market. So.
Well, with the pandemic, it's actually been really interesting because, like, when it first came into effect, it was a bit like deer in the headlights, and everyone was like, okay, what do we do right now? And like, where is this going? Because we weren't sure what the protocols were going to be. So I actually got really involved in doing Zoom interviews.
Right.
So we were interviewing everything from business consultants, financial planners, mortgage brokers, lawyers, health, wellness nutritionists, fitness experts, psychotherapists.
Wow.
We did, I think it was about 22 or 23 Zoom interviews in a row that we were posting on a daily basis. So to kind of give content out there, get people in the know as to what was going on.
Right.
Then as things started to open up, it came to realization because mortgage rates became so cheap that the delta to do the upgrade and get into a bigger home, people were like, if I'm going to be locked down, I got to stay in my home.
Right.
Then I want more space.
Right.
And because inventory was and still is so low, the demand for the upgrade became increasingly high. So it actually helped prices continue on the upswing. Because we were actually poised at the beginning of 2020, if you look at the stats through February and the first 2 weeks of March, back to what was happening in 2017. It was going to be a crazy market in Toronto. And then with this hit, it kind of came to a bit of a stall. And then everything kind of opened to the sense of, okay, we know what's going on. We know how we have to do this. Because obviously real estate was deemed an essential service because people who had already gone into contracts, into deals, obviously had to close on those transactions. Otherwise, it'd be just a massive financial catastrophe. So it just skyrocketed the demand for housing, and the market just took right back off again.
So the interest rate being historically low, is the demand still there, or combined with the demand, I guess? So that makes for a really seller market or buyer market?
No, it's pretty. If you're yes and no. So there's 2 answers to that question. If you're in the housing end of the market, then it's very much a seller's market right now today, because of the fact that people want the houses. People are a little bit more apprehensive on the condo side of things. So condos, unfortunately, have taken about a 5 to 10% drop in value. But that being said, if you are falling into the condo price point from affordability standpoint, I can't honestly think of a better time to buy a condominium than it is right now because the mortgage rates are as cheap as they are. So really, if you're going to buy a condo today, your upswing on that investment in a year from now is going to be unbelievable because let's face it, once things get back to normal and we get back to our relative way of life.
Normal.
Yeah, exactly. The new norm. You're going to see, obviously, like the poise for immigration to come back in is going to be massive.
Right.
Students are going to be back going and having to rent condos again and going and being back into their homes.
Right.
You're going to have things open again for the first-time buyers, second-time buyers trying to get into the market. So, you know, you look at a condo, say 3 or 4 months ago, and, you know, let's say valuation was maybe $700,000 for a one-bedroom and den, like in a 10-year-old building in prime Toronto, you know, maybe, you know, 700 square feet kind of thing. And now, right now, it's probably sitting at about 625, 630. Wow. But in a year from now, you're going to already be right back up to, you know, where it was 3 or 4 months ago. So, and combined with the fact that for every $100,000 you borrow right now, from a mortgage standpoint, if you look at the TD website, if you do the quick calculation, I think they have the posted rate now at 2.14%. So for every $100,000 you borrow, it's just about $431 a month. But I mean, that's what they're showing on the internet. I mean, with the actual rates are under 2%. Right. So it's really almost like $400,000. Sorry, $400 per 100,000. Yeah. So you can't rent for that cheap right now, and that's what's unfortunately affecting the rental market. So as well.
So there's so many angles and so many, I guess, attributes to real estate market, and that when a person's going out to purchase one without having all these information from a person such as yourself, an expert, they're pretty much out in the cold.
No, for sure. I mean, look, you know, the saying is true. Knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have, the better off you're going to be, because you're going to be in that better position to make an informed decision. I never really understood the whole mentality of, well, if I go through the listing agent directly, I'm going to get a better deal. It doesn't make any sense, because at the end of the day, the listing agent is there to represent the seller, not represent the buyer, right? So it doesn't cost you anything to have someone representing your best interest, because as an agent, we get paid from the sellers, not from the buyers. So why not, if you're going to make that kind of an investment or purchase, like how often are you going to go out and spend $200, $300, $400, $100,000 million? Why not make sure you have someone who's going to represent your interests, give you all the right advice and knowledge that you need to make that proper decision? Because there's so many things that can factor into these things. Like, you know, right now, if you look at Leslieville, for instance, which is just going like 100 miles an hour, you can't list them fast enough down there, and they sell like way, way, way over the asking price. But a lot of people don't necessarily know there's a new proposal for rapid transit going in through Leslieville that's going to go through parts of the neighborhood. So you have to know which streets are going to be affected by this proposal if it does go through, because that can impact, obviously, your resale value.
So that's why, folks, you need somebody who's expert in the local, because as real estate may be a global phenomena, that we have got lots of investors coming in and going out, but to be able to, at a micro level, understand the neighborhood at that level of detail that Mark does, I think is going to be an asset on your side. So Mark, so overall, your outlook about the market? Seems like it's positive.
Oh, very much so. Yeah. No, I think if you're looking to get into the marketplace right now, I think I've always said, I'd rather have the really super cheap interest rate than have a higher interest rate and pay less for the house. Because at the end of the day, with a cheaper interest rate, it gives me more flexibility to do more things with it. So
I mean, we never heard this kind of, we've never seen like, what is 1.1, 1.2 people get?
No. It's
almost like free money.
It's almost like free money, yeah. It's like, to be on the conservative side, so you're probably looking right now on a 5-year fix with a 25-year amortization at about 1.8% to be on the safe side. Is that a pretty good number to go off of? So, you know, look, I mean, I'm 50. I bought my first place when I was 27, and I had 6.25.
6.25
for a 5-year fix.
That's a factor of almost 700%.
Yeah, and that was considered a phenomenal, like off the charts kind of like, you know, interest rate back then. So, you know, the fact that we're under 2% on 5-year fixed money is absolutely just incredible. And, you know, as long as you got the down payment to do it, I can't see why you would not want to get into the market, which is what's driving a lot of this, right? So you got people who are like, oh my God, this is definitely, I got to take advantage of getting into the market and do it right now. Or the other option is I want to upgrade and get into something bigger right now, because it's never going to be this affordable to do it. And that's saying I can get a good price for my home right now, And then whatever I'm going to go buy into, the cost is never going to be as cheap as it is right now to put the mortgage on that new property.
So you talked about affordability. Now,
Yeah.
For a person who's already own a property, one or two, and they want to upsize or downsize or shift from the city, go someplace else.
Right.
But what about the folks that just want to enter in the market? Any advice for them? Or,
Looking to get in as a first-time buyer?
as a first-time buyer, in terms of affordability, sure, the interest rate is low
Right.
historically, but the price have gone up. So, in terms of that,
Okay, so here's a great story for that. So I have clients of mine who the husband's been they own a condo downtown. The husband's very gun shy about making a decision and going forward. The wife wants to do something and get out of their condo and get into a house. And he kept, oh no, the market's going to crash, the market's going to crash, the market's going to crash. This has been an ongoing conversation for 7 years. And it's gotten them nowhere. And unfortunately, the relationship is, because of this,
Yeah.
the not ability to move on, she's going off on her own. And,
Yeah.
and she's just already seen in the last year and a half how much the market has changed dramatically from when, she could have bought from a year and a half ago to what it's going to cost, what she's going to get now for the same kind of money. So if you're a first-time buyer, and back to the answer, the long way to answer the question, I can't really honestly think of a better time to get in, because everyone goes, well, I want to wait for the market to crash. Like, it's Toronto.
Right.
Inventory is scarce as it is anyways. There's constant amount of immigration coming into the city on a regular basis
Right.
once we get out of the COVID. It's the biggest city in Canada. If you want to be in the prime part of the city, the demand is constantly and always going to be there. So if you got enough equity to get in, I can't suggest enough. Get in and get started, because you're only going to get further behind if you don't do it
Right.
now. Right, so you get get your equity building up for you. So in 5-6 years down the road, you're ready to make a move again. Now you've got that opportunity where that money has grown, tax free.
Right.
Right.
it's still tax-free?
Still tax free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there was some misinformation about that being taxed.
No, right now, as long as it's your principal residence,
Okay.
It's tax free.
Okay, folks, that's good to know, because that's a really great information, so that you can financially plan for yourself and your family. So from what I'm hearing, if you're ready to move into the market, this is the best time to move in and take advantage of the low interest rates. Inventories may not be as much available, but working with Mark, I'm sure he can do some wonders for you. Now, we have been hearing stories about the demographic shift of people moving from the city, and that's why the condos prices are fluctuating a little bit towards the downwards.
Right.
But you're saying that once we are moved past this hurdle, then things will be looking up and up.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think if you can afford, and based on your affordability factor, it only puts you into a condominium, then I think, definitely it's time to you make the plunge and away you go. Because again, like I said earlier, is that you're going to get a great buying opportunity from a bit of a discount right now from where their price point or what condos are selling for, plus combined with the low cost to borrow on it. Right? So it's a kind of a bit of a win-win situation right now.
Great.
So the issue with condos is really, a lot of it's been is that just because of COVID, people just don't want to have to deal with elevators and, common elevators and going up and down and all that, communal space, being so close to each other, which is just unfortunate because of the situation that we're in. But we're going to get out of this. It's not lasting forever. So if, again, to take advantage of this situation that we're in right now, it becomes a phenomenal buying opportunity.
Folks, in the midst of all this negativity, it's great to find an agent and have a conversation that brings some positivity into the marketplace and into the general psyche of people. Because all I hear is about a lot of negativity, doom and gloom. So that is not a case.
No, and I think unfortunately the doom and gloom part is, I'm trying to figure out a way to say this nicely, without being condescending or rude. But unfortunately, the Toronto Real Estate Board has over 50,000 agents on the board.
Right.
Of the 50,000.
Unfortunately or fortunately?
Unfortunately,
Okay.
unfortunately. Of those 50,000, 25,000 don't even sell a home a year.
Wow.
Okay. So it's a very small minority that does the majority of the business, based on the stats.
Right.
So when you get someone, again, not to toot my own horn, but who's just actively involved in the market, you know what's going on. So you see what's happening. I mean, like, it's been a phenomenally busy year. Like it's like we've been going 100 miles an hour on a regular basis. So there's lots going on. So the market is really strong and robust. And there, like in any market, there's always opportunities in there. And the guys that unfortunately typically don't talk in a positive way because they just don't do the business. They're just not actively engaged. And it's like, and this is the problem when there's guys out there that are offering up all these massive discount, deals because, they're also an Uber driver as well, or they're doing other things to make all their ends meet. But that is not the person you want working for you, right?
No.
You want the professional who's fully engaged, concentrates on the business 100%, is not an Uber driver,
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Listen, well, yes and no. I think if you're going to choose to do the business, then you should do the business. And I think, this can get into a whole nother conversation of like standards and ethics and, how agents should be held accountable. But I mean,
professionalism, when you focus on the business.
Exactly. So same thing. I mean, like if you're going to go and hire a financial planner, you wouldn't want to hire a financial planner who does financial
It's also a plumber.
And is also a plumber and also like, is an Uber driver, right? I mean, that's just not the person you want to hire.
Or you could come just fix the plumbing.
Yeah, that's not the person. Yeah, I mean, that's not the person that you want to have, helping you with one of your most massive financial decisions you're ever going to make in your life. You want the person who knows the business inside and out, who's fully engaged in what they're doing and has a very strong market knowledge of what is going on out there, that they can give you the best advice possible
100%.
and put you in the right direction.
100%. 5 tips for sellers or buyers that you could give.
Okay, so for buyers.
For buyers,
Okay, so for buyers, we'll do it first. So, most important tip number 1, get pre-approved.
Pre-approved.
Okay, so know where you stand, know what you can afford, get your rate locked in. There's no cost in doing so. Your rate's typically guaranteed for anywhere between 60 and 90 days. So as long as you purchase within that time frame, that is your rate. If the rate goes up, you stay where you are. So it's a win situation that way. But then the best part is if the rates go down, which I don't think they're going to go down any further, you go down with the rate. Hire an agent. 100%, do not go direct to the agents because the market's moving too fast. You're going to get lost in the shuffle. Hire somebody who you feel that you can trust, who's going to have your back and is going to give you the best advice possible. Sit down, have a meeting with that person before you move forward. Make sure you guys are going to get along and going to be compatible. Also, have very open discussions. I think it's super important because we're not mind readers, right? We don't have the crystal ball. But the more communication that goes on, I always tell my clients, is the better off we're going to be because if we go and see a property and it's completely wrong and you don't say anything, I don't know. Right. So the
communicate, make sure
communication is
comfortable with them.
Yeah, is massive. Is massive, and make sure the agent knows the area for what you're going to be looking in and has a good understanding of that of the product that you want.
And as far as for sellers are concerned,
for sellers, is actually a lot of the same kind of stuff. Make sure you hire an agent who, again, knows the neighborhood extremely well, who knows what's happening, what the trends are happening within that area so that you can make a proper decision. Make sure they have a full marketing plan. Right? Do not hire on a discount basis because you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot. Make sure they are a full-time agent. And make sure that they have the right support network to give you what you want.
Support network, and that includes?
From administrative assistant to additional agents to help you out. That they have all the tools in the kit. Because again, it's like, if you were going to go in, for, simple, crazy analogy, if you're going to go in for surgery, you want the best surgeon who can give you the best possible job. But for some reason, everyone gets caught up in the commission aspect of it. And if the agent is really good, the commission becomes almost non-issue.
Non-issue.
Right.
Sometimes the pricing becomes an issue. What's the suggestion for pricing? Because a lot of people are like, want to overprice their properties because my house is better than anybody else's, of course. So I want to like get a top dollar. So what is it? Well, how do you square that circle?
Well, it's simple. I mean, there's a reason why, as the agent, the expert, I'm sitting here to give you the advice, right? Now, again, I consider us to be more of advisors than we are salespeople, right? So we're here to give you the best possible advice we can give you, and it's up to you to make the most informed decision you possibly can. That being said, it's your home. You're entitled to do whatever you want. Like there's you're the one like is making the decisions. We're just here to help you. So again, you can do it, but the days are really long gone where people want to have that big room to negotiate anymore. The buyers today are probably more educated than they ever have been in the last, even from when I started 25 years ago, because they have access to so much information, right? So there's so many websites they can go to and gather all the stuff they need to know. Plus, again, if they're hiring the right agent and they're working with their agents, then they're also that much more educated as well. So it comes time, if a house is overpriced, they're not even going to bother even looking at it. They're just going to let it sit and they're going to wait for it to come down. And then now you're in a position where you're chasing the market as opposed to having the market come to you. So, and I would say it's super important to make sure that you're in full control, you're in the driver's seat, so that you can be the one making the decisions and dictating the terms of where you want it to go.
So listen to your expert. Make sure, first of all, that person is an expert, and then listen to them and take the advice. Well, folks, as we promised, we're going to bring you experts into the panel so that they can give you expert advice when you're buying or selling real estate, or if you're dealing with other matters of financial importance to you and your family. So we really like to thank you, Mark, for coming out.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure.
Sharing with us this valuable information that I'm sure that folks at home are listening and say, wow, like this is so much that they did not know before about the buying aspect, selling aspect, all the attributes of the market and how the market is shaping up and the outlook into the future, and that you brought up a positive one. So thank you so much for coming out. And
my
thank
pleasure.
you for the work you do, and we appreciate the fact that you're encouraging the local businesses. I think that is important, and it's paramount in this day and age that we support our local network, and that's why we have House Advisors,
right?
Because we are also part of your corner. We want to be part of your team in terms of propagating the message and connecting people to the right services and getting the right experts, just such as yourself, to act on their behalf and look after their best interests. Thank you so much for coming out.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
All right, so we just finished our interview with Amit Azizi from House Advisors. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully you like or appreciate the information that we provided. Otherwise, follow along on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Mark Arnstein. And otherwise, be safe, stay strong, stay positive. We're going to get through this COVID stuff hopefully very soon. Vaccines are on their way. And we'll look forward to speaking to you next week for VLOG number 11. Take care, everyone. Bye.